Well, good evening all. It's back to the Trials Cub replica for this video, and today I took a couple of runs up and down the lane on it. I just wanted to sort of make sure that all was well and ready for if we get any snow of any significant amount, and have this ready to go out and play. And the first trip up and down the lane sort of went without incident, but the second one, a strange thing happened at the clutch lever, and I thought the clutch cable was going to break. It sort of pulled in, and then when I released it, it came back out so far and sort of went all sort of limp, and then all of a sudden there was a click and everything seemed to be back to normal. And that had happened on Christmas Eve, actually, when I took the ride on this one that can be seen on YouTube. And I think we're 11 minutes and 50 odd seconds into the ride up on the Roman road there, when I stopped to sort of show off some scenery. And when I got back on the bike, you can just hear me sort of make a comment about, I think the clutch cable might be on its way out, as I moved off again. And basically what happened was I pulled the clutch in to put the machine into first gear to move off, and obviously slewed the handlebars as I had to sort of make a bit of a turn as we moved away. And the clutch lever stayed in for a moment, and then there was a click and out it popped. So I had thought that a strand was going in the clutch cable. Today it did it on the second trip up and down the lane, and bear in mind we've been out in between when the throttle cable broke on it as well. I think that was possibly New Year's Day or the day after, roundabout there, or New Year's Eve. Anyway, roundabout there, you can see where I tested my Kodak camera more than the bike, or so I intended, and we got a bonus of my throttle cable breaking. Anyway, I wanted to make sure all was well, and also I wanted to ride the bike with the new throttle cable fitted, because I hadn't until today. And what a transformation a cable can make to how a bike feels. But anyway, as I say, I ended up with this clutch issue, and I thought, right, I better get ready to change the cable because it's not going to last for very long. Anyway, I took the bung out the side of the engine here and checked the operating arm and found that I could grab it with pointy pliers and pull it back outwards, and the cable allowed the lever to move right back out on the handlebar, no problem, nice and smooth. But the clutch wasn't following it. And it turns out what's happened, I've got it over here, I changed the clutch springs and a couple of the plates not long ago, and I had some nice new friction plates among what I had, and I fitted a full set of them, 4. They're a good bit thicker than the original, what I sort of thought to be worn ones were, so great, that'll pack the clutch out a bit. But unfortunately they packed the clutch out that little bit too much, and the first friction plate in after the plain pressure plate on the outside, when the clutch was pulled in, it was able to jump out of the basket, and it actually moved around a little bit, and the prongs rested on the sort of non-slotted portion of the clutch basket. So basically it held this last friction plate out. So that is why the clutch lever wasn't going back fully home, and that is why my clutch acted a bit strange. So what I had to do today is I took 2 of the 4 new thicker friction plates out and put 2 of the old original ones back in, and that's reduced the height or thickness of the stack, and now the last friction plate can't drop out the basket and cause that problem. And we've got a nice clutch action again, and I've been up and down the lane on it. There doesn't seem to be any clutch slip or drag. Feels good, feels positive, and it wasn't the cable at all. But that was a very strange one, and presumably there could have been a nasty sort of bang or a crunch possibly there, although I suppose you'd have to sort of it wouldn't have got past the 3 spring bosses, so maybe it wouldn't have gone too far off centre, but it could have possibly done harm or maybe damaged the primary case or something, I don't know. So I'm glad I spotted that and was able to sort it out, and the upshot of all that is we are ready, subject to whether we get any snow, to go out and play in it. But To all intents and purposes, the old Trials Cub replica is fully functional once again. It's got a nice new throttle cable on it. It feels much nicer than it has done in God knows how many years. And the clutch and clutch cable and everything are fine too. And it's recently had its engine oil and gearbox oil and primary chain case oil all changed. So all ready for lots of fun and games and adventures once more. Until the next little thing crops up, of course.